Shlamishpka. Out on this little trail here for bikes. Then I'm gonna either stay in here or walk a little bit to get this video going. It's been placed on me to say this, test it. I guarantee most, if not everybody, will be convicted by this video. Myself included, when he dropped the message to me. And so it's vital. So to start out, this is a hemp product. It is in compliance with the Hemp Farming Act of 2018, Statute 2667. A good thing it wasn't 3 6s. That would be good. But I figured I would try this out. It's even rolled by raw. That's how big it is. And again, if anybody has an issue with it in terms of scripture or whatever, or your personal convictions, so be it. Plane literally flying above me. I don't know if I caught any of the video. Yeah, the airport's like right there. But anyways, that's why I said test it, because I got this revelation after I got done smoking. Hemp product, to be clear, completely legal. So I'm not endorsing or condoning any illegal activity in this video. So that being said, anyway, so if I got convicted by this message, and I know a lot of you out there are going to be, it's important. It's not really lit. Alright, anyway. And we'll see how much of this video I get done before my battery goes, because it's low. So, we'll just see. Come on, start to burn even. You're gonna see it playing right in front of me. Where'd it go? There it is. message. I'm gonna step off in the shade. Man, this is burning whack. Okay. So, how do I start? Oh. He placed it into me some revelations to bring about to Yahuah. Now, it's pretty heavy. That's why I'm kind of like, how do I start? So, I don't think a lot of us are in the right place, in the right mindset when it comes to doing the commandments as we'd like to think. I'm not another biker person. Hey. See, it's Florida, nobody cares. Even though they wouldn't be able to tell the difference if it's legal or not anyway. Still nobody cares. So, but what I was meaning by that, we're not performing the commandments as well as we think we are, is referring back to my last video. Ooh, birdie, hey. I didn't see you there. Are you hurt? Okay, you can fly some. We'll block you in Yahush's name. Oh, wow, that completely was unplanned. There's birds over here too. But going back to the previous video that I did, we have to get back to the weightier matters. And he elaborated on that. Like someone went on and smoked. By the way, the review of this is not bad, but it's not as potent as what I've been getting. So either that or I built up more of a tolerance to him. I don't know. Still like it though. It's a nice smooth smoke. Anyways, getting off on a tangent. We need to get back to the weighty matters. Part of that is I know we all need to grow in love. Because, okay, I'm just going to ask it. I'm just going to drop it because he does it. I don't know how else to do it. How many of us are actually going out and telling everybody that we see about the Basara, the good news, the good message? How many of us out here are telling the Basara to everybody that we see? I know I haven't been. I will admit, I will humble myself in front of all of you. So this message isn't just for all y'all and thinking that I'm high and mighty or anything. Nah, this severely convicted me. How many of us are telling that to everybody we see? How many of us are going out and doing it every day even? And telling just one person? How many of us are even going out into the world at all to tell people? Or are we just fighting and bickering and complaining amongst ourselves online? Fighting over doctrine. I'm not saying to try to get to the truth is not important. Absolutely, it is. And there's a lot that we need to go through and unlearn and relearn things. Learn how it should be done. However, if we're not getting down to the weightier matters and taking care of that first, none of the rest of it is going to count. It's not even going to matter. See what I mean? Like, Scripture says go into all the world and tell every creature. Is not every word of the Messiah the Torah? Well, if that's the case, then we're all out here trying to keep Torah by wearing fringes and keeping whatever we think is the Shabbat. But we're not being loving to people. We're not loving them enough to go out and be like, hey, this is what's real. This is why you need to repent. Do we love people enough to do that? To get out of our comfort zones? And tell them what they need to hear before things go down? Because we know, looking at what's being portrayed in the media these days, their goddess, one of their many gods and goddesses, media. Look it up. If you don't know already. But anyway, we know time is running short, and I need to practice what I'm preaching too. I am speaking also to myself in this video. I'm not... That's what I said, man. A lot of people are going to be convicted by this video, me included. I am not... Nah. I am not exempt from what I'm saying in this video. This is for me too. 100%. Now, does Abba give us favor and grace to grow into being able to do just that? Well, I pray so. Because knowing how I've been with it, like, of course I'm not going to go into any of the alms and things that I may or may not have done since coming into the truth, because you know what the word says, hopefully, about that. I'm not telling you all before men. But have I been doing enough? Have I been living to that standard of going to all the world and tell every creature? No, I haven't. I'm not gonna front. That's how I know this video is gonna convict a lot of people, because they're gonna hopefully, anybody that's watching this, you're gonna reflect on yourself and be like, dang, am I getting, like, that's how I know this is the Ruach, because it's gonna convict a lot of people, myself included. Do you think people want to go and necessarily tell messages that put themselves out on Front Street and be like, us as a people need to be more adamant on doing that, getting refined in that area? Because we do, all of us. And if we're not even aware of it, if we're not even aware of it, how can we change it? Or how can we, pray to change it? That needs to be brought to the conscious mind. And so here I am. Giving a message that I also, myself, have to abide in doing. And hold myself accountable. Because, that's a heavy thing. That's a heavy thing to think about. You not having been telling everybody that you've been coming across. So all those people that are keeping the law, Which I'm not saying it's wrong to do. I've never stated to not do it. But we need to get our hearts right first. The weightier matters. Because if we're doing all the other stuff, if we're keeping feast days, wearing fringes, etc., eating clean, depending on what level you're at, that is for you. Whether it's, Leviticus 11, or if you've gone completely vegan like me, whatever level he has you at. But regardless of what level you are in your spiritual walk, I've got a feeling that this is going to convict you. In one way, shape, or form. Let's strive to do better. Because, it's made me realize, I've gone quite a distance in my walk, especially in the short amount of time. People are shocked, apparently, when they hear how long I've been reading scripture for and studying things for, as compared to a lot of other people. But I still have a ways to go. And if it wasn't for Yahuah's love for us and what he did through Yahushua, we would all be screwed. All of us. I think that none of us deserve it, because we all break Torah every single day, whether you realize it or not. It's written, he who says he is without sin is a liar, and the truth is not in him. This is also something that I have to work on in my mind process, or have prayed about myself. That's another thing too, I need to pray more. So, I'm sure we all could. So, and also, it's easy to say you love people, when you detach yourself from society. When you are in such a position that you place yourself away from others, it's easy to say and think and believe that you truly do love other people. What if you weren't detached from society? You know, what if you didn't make your own income somehow? Or, you know, live out in the woods. Go, you know, don't go to stores, or if you do, just, you know, not really speak or say anything to anybody. Just go about, like, it's easy to say that you love people when you do that. But if you are in a position like that, you want to test where you are in the walk, go back into society. I'm not saying join back up with them, you know, or whatever, but like, be around the environment, if anything else, and see how long it takes for you to want to actually show somebody an act of love, or how long it takes before you get irritated and you don't want to be around Gentiles anymore, or what in your mind you're saying in your heart when you say that or think that they're unclean. And we already know Yahuah said not to call any man unclean, because you don't know if he is future brethren or not, if he is one of the lost sheep to be brought into the fold. But immerse yourself in society and be in that environment and see if you really show love for others as you say or as you claim to, because that's another thing that needs to be checked. Another thing, are you giving truly out of an act of love when you do something good, or are you doing it out of obligation? Because if you're doing it out of obligation, and not because you truly want to help that person, you care for them, or you get irritated if somebody comes up to you and asks you for help, not following Torah. And the fact if you happen to have fringes on does not matter at that point. You can keep all of the Torah that is applicable to you perfectly, theoretically. But if you're not doing it in love, you're doing it out of obligation. Then you're not obeying the commandments. No. And of course, faith without works is dead. show forth. So yeah, faith without works is dead. I know this. We have to show forth and bear good fruit, because that's what we are to judge other people on righteously. Because that's also written. But the word judge seems to have caught a negative connotation to it. It's you're giving somebody a message, a warning of, hey, this is something you should not be doing. You know, you still care for that individual and love them and show them kindness and, you know, the fruits of the Ruach, the Spirit. But if we didn't have His favor, the actual gift, we wouldn't be, I don't think many of us really, if any, would be able to get it. No, none of us would. It was a gift given to us, and we have to freely accept it. And then we show forth gratitude by going back and doing things the right way. But our hearts and minds have to be right first. They have to be. If they're not, the motions that you're going through don't mean anything if they don't have love in it. Yeah, I'm better now in this stage of my life than I was when I was of the world, but there's still work for me to do. He's showing me that there is still more improvement that I need to have in regards to love. Not that I don't love, but there's just this, you know what I mean? Back in the old prior identity, you know, as Bradley, he tried to cut himself off from love and feeling love after constantly being hurt, being empath, you know, not knowing it, not even like really considering that he was one, and being able to feel other people's emotions all around him, and being, you know, like, cause him to want to shut that down. But if you shut one emotion down, they all really start going, and maybe that's just something that just clicked, because I try to not feel anger ever anymore because of how Brad was when he got angry up to a certain point. And I don't ever want to be like that. So I don't allow myself to feel anger. So, I mean, like I just said, you shut down one feeling, you eventually shut down all of them. And now, I guess I just gotta figure out righteous anger. And he told me had me figure out exactly what that is and how to feel that, how to express that. Like, you know, again, as it's written, it's eavesdropping, listen to me right now too. As it's written, you know, the adversary will use something that's bad and Abba will turn it for good. So everything that I was doing in my old identity that was dark, Abba's just coming in and taking that same ability. But having it be for the light. Like, like the anger thing, for example. Like, instead of having it be like an Incredible Hulk type anger where it's like rage and filled with negative, he can take that, implement that same capability, but for the use of righteousness, and have it be a righteous anger and get angry at the situations that the elites have put us in and be angry enough, but yet at shalom enough, peace enough to be able to bring that to a crowd and use that energy and not to have that anxiety of speaking in front of people randomly without having anything scripted. You know, so that's another thing for us to think about. So yeah, different things for us to think about, because like going back to before, if you've made for yourself a controlled environment and you're not really going out and being submerged by people who, you know, don't believe at all, or they believe that you know, at a certain level that you don't. You know, and you believe that you can edify them through the Yahuah. Like, you know, and that's another reason why I know that Abba has me at the job that I'm at. It's a testing ground to see, okay, how much in the Ruach are you really in? How long can you endure this being, you know? Like, if you've made an environment to yourself where you're not exposing yourself, that's probably not the right choice of words. If you're not going out there and interacting with those who are of the world, how do you know that you truly love others? How do you know you don't have a pharisaical attitude and mentality of, okay, well, I don't want to be around those people because I only want to be around people that are like me and stay comfortable and just argue amongst ourselves with other groups. I mean, I get it too. I mean, those that have been following me since I started my first Facebook page, you probably know that by me saying this, I've come quite a bit. You know, because I came out gung-ho as well, you know, really zealous. That just needed to be humbled down. You know, another thing, you know, besides Yahuah that Abba has called me, you know, is, you know, humble zealness. So it's like those are the things that are being tested. Like, okay, do you still have any sort of ego about yourself? Do you have pride at all? And are you zealous for the wrong reasons? Are you focusing on the weightier matters? Or are you focusing on the little tiny parts of the law, the little details? Which I'm not saying that they're not important. But what do you have to connect to them if you don't have love? Patience is above all the fruits of the Ruach, because if you're not showing patience, so the moment you get impatient with somebody, you're certainly not showing them love. Because Abba is ever so patient with us. And that also clearly amazes me and will never cease to. Hey. Man. Because we screw up a lot. And that's one thing with my personality type, is we don't like to screw up, ever. And when we do, like in the flesh, we tend to excruciatingly beat ourselves up over it on the inside. Because either one, we knew better and it still happened anyways, or like something, whatever went wrong, we always reflect back and look at it and be like, this is okay. And then you have to, you know, remind yourself of how much he loves us, and, you know, being of the amana of the faith, the way, being Nazarene, which means the branches. Well, I mean, it just means branches. You would have to have Hanatzarim. It's Ha is the you know, if like every day we wake up, there's a chance that we don't deserve. And the fact that he does, it's incredible. And also, like, the favor he has upon us to be able to allow ourselves to mature to a point where we're better and we truly are following in his commandments. And that's the thing a little bit with me also, personally, is like, I want the food to be there right away. Like my mom said, it's like, I want to show that forth that I'm bearing fruit and that I'm worthy. But, walking on the way to make this video is like, there needs to be a maturing process that has to take time. Not everything is going to be done right away. And I guess, also having my personality type, having high expectations. I'm not saying that he couldn't, but also at the same time, it logically makes sense. He's capable of it, he's just choosing not to. There's a difference. For the fact of, I stopped listening, speaking priorly. I had stopped doing things immediately. Like, for example, when I read in Leviticus 11, about the clean and unclean meats and all that, like, that's the very same day I stopped eating pork, shrimp, etc. I think those were like the two big ones that I was really eating out of that category anyway, so it was like whatever. But it's in a lot of stuff. But like, it was the very same day. Like, it took me no time to do it. And same thing with, coming to the realization that, my favorite band, Metallica, yeah, with, the elites and how entertainment and all that stuff is all connected, and who they are and what they're about. Yeah, you seriously definitely do have talent, but what did you do to get that talent? It kind of makes me wonder a little bit about Cliff Burton, but that's another topic for another day. Yeah, so I stopped listening to them immediately. I had been a juggalo, and so of course, being in ISCP, Psychopathic Records, once I had come to the realization that was bad, stopped listening to that right away too. Got rid of all my stuff. That was Metallica, ICP, like as soon as I could. Deadpool, largely into that. Okay, so there, one of my ICP tattoos, just so you know, I was legitimately about it. And then there was one of the Metallica ones. Oh yeah, and that was the first one I got, relating back to, the whole love thing, and how previously, Brad had felt about that. And then another wish. I have another Juggalo tattoo, but that's on my hip line. I'm not going to show that. It just says the word Juggalo. Oh yeah, and Deadpool, just so I was really about that. I had the suit and everything. So yeah, when I came to the realization of all that stuff, I just stopped immediately. So he's humbling me in the sense of, okay, you got used to all the things that you've been tested on, or knowing that need to be gotten rid of out of your life. For the most part, you've done instantly. Okay, well, we're going to see about that. We're going to test you on some things. And it throws me, or places me into the environment that I'm in regards to work. So, it's easier to think that you've progressed so much, or that you're in the right position that you need to be in to be on the narrow path. But if you're not getting tested, or you're not allowing yourself to be tested in situations like that, like I do not have a structural sanctuary that is my own, that I can control the environment in it right now, at this moment. I am completely immersed in walking in Babylon. And breaks that I get are moments like this where I know I can walk somewhere that's secluded, or mostly secluded if need be, or if I want to, and have a little bit of, quiet. But sometimes that's how it is. Like that's what's being done with me right now. So if it hasn't been done with you, it's coming. And if it is being done to you now, then you know what I mean. And if you've been through it, well, I guess you surely know what I mean. But it is a lot different than sitting behind your phone screen or computer screen or whatever and saying that you love people, that you're keeping the commandments. But if you don't actually have any interpersonal human interaction with people outside of your little bubble, how do you know? How do you know for sure? If you want to know for sure, I told you how to do it. You gotta be around people and actually speak to them, or just be, in their environment. And see. Because the adversary is trying to wear us out. And if we're not spiritually strong enough to be able to be in an environment that's not peaceful and not be peaceful within, that's a bigger issue to deal with. Like, there's a reason, and again, I'm not saying these aren't important, but there's a reason why Abba in this season has had me lose track of when I count for the Sabbath currently. It's been that way for a while. And have had my garments stripped from me. Because there's bigger things to deal with. And there's not a lot of time left, and we have a lot of maturing to do and growing. And we don't know how long that's going to take for each of us, because we're going to grow at different rates. But how much longer do we have time before the harvest is to be ripe? You know what I mean? And that in itself causes me to be like, oh dang, am I really doing enough? Does he really love me enough to pull me through all these mistakes I do every single day? Because of that heavy truth of, are we really going out and telling everybody what's going on in the world? And about repentance and the Messiah, are we telling everybody we see? We're not. We're not. You know, there might be people here and there that we tell, which is great. That's great. But I think this is a message for now, or the very near future, that we need to be prepping ourselves spiritually to be able to get to that level. Because things are going to get that real. And so I got to bring this out, as uncomfortable as it is going to be for people. We have to face it so it can be dealt with. So, that being said, I think I'll end the video on that, because at this point in time, I don't think the Yahuah has anything else to lay upon me to say, and I'm pretty sure I got all that I needed to in this message on it. Of course, if that's not the case, I'll just be making another video. Other than that, let's not be hurting each other out here. Let's not be getting in arguments. There's such thing as sharpening iron, yes. And we need to interact with each other to try to get some certain things down, maybe doctrine-wise. See what really holds up in spirit and in truth. But we need to show love towards one another and the foreigner, the stranger, so-called, Gentiles. The ones who we're supposed to be bringing in. I'm setting forth an example, too, of why they should. Because if we're not showing the light towards one another, how are we showing the light towards others? You can't have one without the other. So, if you're not loving those that say they already are in the truth, regardless of how you feel or how you view doctrine. And I know it can be frustrating when you know that you know something and they don't want to hear it. But don't act out in frustration. Show them love. Because again, if we're not doing it with ourselves, we're not doing it with them, with others either. So another thing for us all to think about. We can sharpen iron. We can agree to disagree. We can talk about our topic, not see eye to eye, go pray about it, come back to it at another time. Let's focus on what we have in unity. And hopefully have our hearts and minds in the right place. Because if not, we're not going to be in a good place. So, I just hope that we all can just do better as a people. Start to mature more. Because we're definitely going to need it. Many are called, few are chosen. A lot of us have definitely heard the call and picked it up. Well, how long are we willing to be on the line for Him? How many of us will truly endure to the end? How many of us will have had fully circumcised hearts and achieved to the level of being able to love everybody as you would want done unto you, and loving Yahuah with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and showing forth your gratitude for the gift of salvation by doing as He would have liked for us. But again, the heart has to come first. The feast keeping, fringe wearing, Hebrew Abrit words that you're saying aren't going to mean anything if you don't have that level of love. And that's why Yahuah said, like, when He comes back, is He going to find faith? Because Ahaba and Amana, love and faith are connected. Perfect love casts out fear. You have faith, you have nothing to be afraid of, because it's written. So you don't have to be afraid of screwing up, like I had been. Because this perfect love should cast out that fear of being forever damned because you screwed up. You made a little mistake. And if you truly are repentant of it, those are key components. And so long as it's not the mark of the beast.